People want the raw reality, the raw, authentic, behind the scenes. What's it like to scale, start an SMMA, have an SMMA, make a bunch of money, not make a bunch of money? Let's give it to y'all, okay? And just for context, go look. I made these videos far before Sander Sage or anybody else did, so you can go check my channel. Raw reality is literally my hometown, okay? So let's talk about the raw reality of SMMA, okay? Because truth be told, there's a lot of fake perceptions, and rightfully so, right? Social media, in and of itself, what is the point of social media? Well, it's for you to highlight your life, right? For you to post the best snippets of your life, to stand out amongst all your friends and look like you're living a good life. When in reality, behind closed doors, if people saw how you truly live your life, it's depressing. And the truth is, it's the same for everybody else out there. It doesn't matter who they are, they probably live a depressing life behind the scenes. Most people do. That's the sad, honest, true reality. You want raw reality? Most people live a shit life. Truly. Look at how many people are depressed. Look at how many people are on anti-anxiety medications. Look at how many people can't even go outside for a walk by themselves and just enjoy nature. Look at how many people who cannot go a day without their phone, or even an hour without using Snapchat or Instagram or YouTube. It's depressing. It's saddening, okay? And so what's happened is social media has made people start posting only the highlights of their life, only the good, never the bad, only the good. Why? Because if they show the bad, they're looked down upon, right? Because now, oh, man, he's not that good. He didn't make any money last month. Or, man, he failed. What? He's a failure. He failed business. He must suck. So people only show the good. What does that do? Well, first, it fucks up your brain. Right? It messes with your head because it makes you think that you are worse than you truly are because you are comparing yourself to everybody else. Comparison is the thief of all joy. Very famous quote. Right? People constantly compare. Here's the problem. Is you compare to standards that are not even on par with you. Right? Like, how stupid would it be to compare your running ability to Usain Bolt? That would just be stupid. Of course you're going to lose it to Usain Bolt. And so you're comparing your overall life to small, tiny, highlighted segments hand-selected by that individual on social media. How stupid does that sound? To compare your entire life to somebody's highlights. Because this is what we do 24/7 all the time, right? Heck, maybe you even compare your life to mine. But here's the problem, is you compare your entire life to just the YouTube videos you watch of me. Or maybe the Instagram posts you see from Alex Hormozi. Or maybe the YouTube videos of Iman Gaji. You only compare their small portions of life, where they are currently at, to your whole life. That isn't fair. That's not a fair comparison, right? In science, when you compare something, they have to be relatively the same. Otherwise, you can't compare. The same reason why a man can't find a woman in the UFC. They don't match up. Right? You can't compare the two. They're just different inherently, right? And so this is why people get so fucked up in the head, and they get so sad because they're constantly comparing themselves to other people. Now, let's get back to the question, the raw reality of SMMA. Right? Well, we have to understand that first, people only post the good on social media, right? To elevate their status, right? That's why people post on social media, to elevate their status, to look good amongst other people, right? Myself included, of course, but I'll also show you the raw reality. My whole goal, my entire life has always been to try and be the most authentic, transparent person, right? That's my goal, is to show you the true, real behind the scenes. Like, what is it actually like? What's it like to make money? What's it like to run a company? What's it like to fail? What's it like to make no money? What's it like to get charged back from your customer and refunds and all this stuff? What's it like? Because that's reality, right? That's reality. Reality isn't perfection. That's dreamland. That's not reality. Okay? And so, first thing we have to understand is that SMMA is not, or as a matter of fact, any business or even entrepreneurship in general is not what it seems to me. Straight up, I'll tell you the truth. I have seen hundreds of people fail. I've seen hundreds of people quit. I've seen hundreds of people succeed, but I've seen more people fail than succeed. That's the truth. Now, why? Well, I'll tell you why. Why do people, okay, why do people usually break up? Or why do people try and go back on arrangements? Why do people churn from a company? Well, it's when expectations differ from reality, right? It's when what you expected is different than what you're getting, right? So if you went to a restaurant and you order chicken and you got beef, you would be upset and ask for your beef, right? Because that's what you were expecting. But the reality was you got chicken. Therefore, you are unhappy. And so why most people fail is because their expectations differ from reality. And so they expected to make 10K with SMMA in the first day. Heck, maybe in the first week if we're being generous, right? But they figured, oh man, look at all these people out here making 10K a month with SMMA. I can make it very quickly, right? That's what they think, right? And rightfully so, because that's what the media, that's what social media has portrayed, that all making money is as quick as this. It's not. It's difficult. It's just as difficult, or heck, probably even more difficult than a lot of other ways you can make money out there, right? It's easier to make money from a job than it is from social media, right? Or from online business. Now, granted, can you make more? Of course you can, right? But yeah, it's way more difficult. It's a lot easier to drop off a resume at any place in your town where they're needing to hire than it is to start a business and try and get people that don't even know you to pay you a bunch of money. So people have a false perception. And when reality and expectations clash, when they differ, people get upset. And then they stop doing the thing because now they're like, man, I didn't think it was going to be like this. Okay? And so I'll tell you, man, SMMA, online business entrepreneurship, isn't what you think it is if you've only just seen people on social media pump out their numbers and say, man, I made 100K last month, here's how. Yeah, what they didn't share is that they failed for 5 years straight, made $0 for the 6 months before that, went in debt 20 grand the 4 years before that, failed 8 other businesses, and now they're making 100K. They don't tell you that part. They only tell you, oh, I'm making 100K now. But the problem is they went through all this to get here. Right? It's like if a seed is growing, right? They grow through the ground. You don't see anything, and then all of a sudden it grows through the sun. You go, oh, what a beautiful seed, what a beautiful flower. But you didn't see it was growing the entire time. But the problem is nobody will show you they're growing. Right? It's underground. It's hidden. No one will show you it, and no one will talk about it because they just want to be like, look how wonderful I am. I made 100K in 1 month. It's like, yeah, but you started 10 other businesses that failed before that and lost thousands of dollars. Why don't we talk about that? We already told you. Social media is meant to highlight your life, not show all of it, highlight, which is why you only see the good. And what people do is they just go, oh, social media must be reality, and they base their reality off of other people's social medias. And then when they get struck with reality, it's like, man, that's different. It's like, yeah, because it is. Because social media isn't reality. And so, yeah, SMMA is tough. And I myself have failed companies. I myself have lost thousands of dollars. I myself have gone periods of time making no money. That's the truth. Whoa, what? Yeah. I've failed. And I've lost money. I've also made no money at points. Yup. That happens. That's part of the journey, though. It's all part of the process. As a matter of fact, most successful people have gone through this. They just don't talk about it. Because it doesn't sound as appealing, right? And so, over the past year, like I've seen and coached and consulted hundreds of people, and even just talked to thousands of people, and so many of them are like struck by reality when they realize that this isn't as easy as they thought it was going to be. Think about it logically for a second. Imagine telling someone, hey, you have a mediocre skill set, and you're going to try and get random strangers to pay you $2,000 a month to help them with this mediocre skill set that may not even help them. You would go, that guy's an idiot. Yet you expect that when you give your mediocre services to somebody, they'll pay you $2,000 a month gladly for you to maybe help them. See how crazy it sounds in reality? Now, is it doable? Of course it is. One that I've seen hundreds of people succeed. It's very doable. But you have to understand that you go through trials and tribulations, you have to walk through the mud, and you have to endure suffering and pain and sacrifice in order to get here, right? To go from here to here, you got to do something different. And so it's going to be difficult because going from here to here, if it was easy, you'd already be there, right? But the reason why it's difficult is because you're learning something new, and the things you're learning is what's required to get you here. Because if you already knew those things, you'd already be here, right? And so, yeah, man, it's tough. And it's not as easy as people make it out to be. And you will fall. And you will fail. But what matters is, will you get back up? Right? Will you get back up or will you stay down? Because, yeah, you probably, realistically, most people don't see success for the first few months. Heck, maybe even for the first few years in business. That's crazy, right? Whoa, what? Yeah. A lot of people lose money. in the first X amount of years. Most successful companies at the beginning of their time period lost money in the beginning. Jeff Bezos, when he started Amazon in his parents' garage, I don't know if you guys know this, his parents gave him a $200,000 or $300,000 loan. What? Think about that. So theoretically, he's in debt $300,000 to his parents. Theoretically, right? Because that's now a liability. That's debt that he's acquired. So he's technically in debt $300,000. And as a matter of fact, when he went to go buy all this stuff and the equipment and the softwares and whatnot, he started losing money. Kept losing and losing. Now, whether you want to call it losing or investing, different story, right? But from our perspective, we'll say losing and losing money. And he didn't make a ton at the very beginning. As a matter of fact, you could argue that he lost and he was in debt, right? But here's the catch. The only difference is he just didn't give up, and he saw the bigger picture, and he saw that he wanted to go here but was only here, and so he had a long way to go to get here, right? And that's why he didn't give up, and that's why inevitably he made it to where he is now, right? Which, I don't know about you, I would love to be in Jeff Bezos' position, right? Pretty cool guy, if you ask me. And so, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that people don't talk about in SMMA, right? A lot of stuff, right, that people will charge you back and clients will churn, right? Or that, there's low profit margins. Or either you do all the work and you work 18 hours a day and you hate your life, right? Or you hire out a whole team to work for you and your team is shit, and then you have problems, then your clients are mad at you, and then they're asking for refunds, and now you thought you're going to work 1 hour a day and just manage your employees even though you don't know how to do that. But then even if you do that, now you're stressed because you don't even know if they're getting results because they're not, and now your clients are mad at you, and now they're requesting refunds. Now you got to go in there and figure it out, like, man. And that's when you get clients. Just don't even get me started on the part where you haven't even got a client because you just haven't even done enough or learned enough to get there yet. And so, yeah, man, SMMA is tough. Business is tough. Online business, entrepreneurship in general is tough. But that's exactly what makes it worth doing. Is because it's tough, because there's suffering and pain and sacrifice associated with it, is exactly why it's so valuable. Just ask yourself, just remember the saying, if it was easy, everybody would do it. Rather said, if it was easy, everybody would succeed at it. If it was easy, everybody would succeed. Why do so many people fail? Because it's not truly that easy, right? And so, yeah, a lot of these gurus, a lot of these people on the internet have given a false perception of what it's like and just painted it as a super pretty picture, right? And now there's some people who have done it with bad intentions, right? I don't say bad intentions, but who have painted a pretty picture to sell you a course and then made a bunch of money off you, not even their own agency. Different story. We won't talk about that, okay? But, people have really painted all this stuff is a super pretty picture, whether it's to sell a course or to get views or to et cetera. And I don't blame them because I myself am part of that equation. But I just want you to understand that that's not the reality. It's not realistic for a random 15-year-old kid from a different part of the world. I say different part of the world, and most people target USA and whatnot, right? So from a second or third world country to snap their fingers and be making $10K next month. It doesn't work like that. Most people that are succeeding that you see going from 0 to 170K a month in 2 months started like 8 other businesses before, failed them all, but learned a bunch of skills required to start this new business to scale it super quickly. The problem is you just don't see this stuff. You only see the good, never the bad, right? And so we think, oh, look how good they are. They did this. But yeah, but you didn't see the bad, right? And that's the problem, is no one talks about the bad and you don't see it. And that's obviously an issue. And so that's why I wanted to make this, to say like, yo, it's not as easy as it seems. Is it doable? 1,000%. I've seen 13-year-old kids from India make thousands of dollars a month from this. It's doable. Trust me. Is it going to be difficult? Yes. And you have to know that. Because your expectation has to be it's going to be so incredibly difficult that I'm going to enjoy the challenge and the suffering in the process. But that's what makes it worth doing. But you have to know that, otherwise you'll give up because expectations will differ from reality. Right? And we don't want that to happen. So yeah. It's tough. It's not as easy as everybody makes it out to seem, right? There's days where I'll stay up to 3 a.m. stressing. Like, how are we going to get results? Right? It's 3 a.m. I'm sitting at my desk with my hands in my head thinking, how are we going to turn this thing back around? Or there's days where I literally can't sleep because I have no clue what's going on and I don't know how to fix it. That happens. Right? Or there's days where clients will just like want to leave. That hasn't happened to me yet. But like this stuff happens though, you know? And like, man, and there's times where I will literally work 16, 18 hours a day, every single day, not go to the gym, not go outside, just sit at my desk every single waking minute of the day and work until the second I go to bed because there's just so much to do. There's no freedom in that. It isn't all lovey-dovey butterflies and rainbows 24/7. No, there's times where it's difficult. You don't see those times, but man, there's times where it's difficult, right? And that's the reality. Is no, it's not out on parties and boats 24/7, 365, working 1 hour a day, right? Just managing a team. No. That's not reality. That's not what it's really like. Or at least not at this stage, right? At least not at the stage where most people are at, right? Maybe once you've made billions, different story. But then if you're making billions, there's a lot of other bigger problems, right? You probably have a pretty big team, a lot of people to take care of, etc., right? But at least at this stage, it doesn't work that way. Right, it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of stress. There's a lot of stuff that comes. And don't get me wrong, it's amazing, and that's what makes the process so incredibly enjoyable. And that's what makes it so fulfilling, is because of the challenges. If there wasn't challenges, it wouldn't be fulfilling, right? If anyone could hike Mount Everest, it wouldn't be fulfilling completing it. The fact that it's difficult is what makes it worth doing. Is because so many other people won't even try is what makes it worth it. Right? And so there's actually this video I watched from a guy talking about Kobe, and he said that Kobe was chasing perfection, but the fact that it seemed impossible and that it turned most people away is exactly what motivated him, is knowing that most people wouldn't do it. Right? So even if he never got there, the fact that at least he tried and put his heart out is what made it worth doing. Okay? And so don't get me wrong, the process is everything. And man, I love it, right? Now, granted, in the times you may get caught, man, I'm so stressed. But you look back and go, that was incredible, right? But the raw reality is it definitely ain't as easy as people make it out to be. It can be tough. And more often than not, it is. More often than not, it's sitting behind your desk, trying to fix the problems at hand, and then trying to do more because your business is barely surviving, and then also trying to cram in time to get more clients, but then trying to fix the problems from your current clients, and then manage your team members, and then try and learn new things to grow your business. And then this is all happening, you haven't even ate a meal yet, and now your belly's hungry, and now you're feeling kind of dizzy, you don't feel well, only to realize that you just had 10 more Discord messages come in, and you have new problems arising. That's the truth. Now, like I said, I live for that. And it gets me pumped up to know that there's some new challenge and some new obstacle to overcome every single day. But it definitely ain't, sitting on your phone on a beach 24/7, 365, working 1 hour a day, shooting a few text messages and calling it quits. That's unrealistic. And that's what social media has portrayed a lot of this to be. Okay? And so I want you to know that it's going to be difficult. And it's going to be tough. And you're going to have to sacrifice a ton. Like a ton. Man, I can't even begin to count the amount of stuff I've had to sacrifice. Right? Like friends, time, freedom, even the things you enjoy. Cut it all off entirely. Right? You're going to have to sacrifice to do something greater. And that's part of the game. So yeah. I hope that this can give you a bit better of an insight onto what it's truly like to be in this online business space. Because even the people who you think have it figured out, most of the days they don't even have it figured out. Right? I was hanging out with a 7-figure entrepreneur not too long ago, and he says, on the outside it may look like I have it figured out, on the inside I have no clue what the heck is going on. I was like, for real? He goes, dude, every single day I have no clue what's happening. I'm like, oh, so it's okay to feel like this. He's like, yeah. And that gave me so much relief knowing that it's not just me that feels this way. It's so many other people who also feel this way, right? Like knowing that a 7-figure entrepreneur had no clue what was going on every single day and is like sitting at his desk like, what are we going to do? Made me like be able to breathe and go, it'll all be okay, right? And so I want you to know that despite the fact that you may think that everybody you watch has it figured out, behind the scenes, shit may be messed up. I know that from personal experience, right? May look like, oh, he's got it all figured out. Nah, man. Maybe I'm a step or two ahead for sure, right? But I'm nowhere near figuring it all out. Sure, I'm a step ahead of you, right? I'm one step up. I'm nowhere near Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos level, and I guarantee you, if you ask them, they'll be like, man, I'm nowhere near here either. There's always another mountain to climb. So, yeah, that's the real raw reality of starting an SMMA. Not this BS, right? Not money, Rolexes, yada, 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 working 1 hour a day, freedom, blah, blah, blah. Nah, none of that. The raw, the true, right? Like most of these guys who make a bunch of money, who truly not make a bunch of money by selling you guys on saying they make a bunch of money, but who actually make a bunch of money from their SMMA, either still do or at one point in their life worked relentlessly every single day and didn't have a social life and didn't have all these things that you may see them have now, right? As a matter of fact, a good example of this is Charlie Morgan. Like, look at him. If you look at some of his videos, you'll look and you'll see like, man, he's in this nice house in Dubai, this, that. And then if you go look at his videos where he's up at 3 a.m. talking about how he's burnt out, it's like, oh, so there is this other side to him. As a matter of fact, he deleted that video. Charlie Morgan posted a video of him up at 3 a.m. sitting at a desk in a robe just working on a new course program he's putting out. And he was talking about how like he was like burnt out and whatnot, right? Which is so true, right? It's like that stuff happens, right? But people will shame you. Oh, how could you say you're burnt out? You're a multimillionaire, yada, yada, yada. But it's like, man, that's just the reality. Like that stuff happens. So, yeah. Hope that this maybe gave you a bit of insight, and showed you the truth, right? That's my goal. Not trying to hide nothing here, right? Like I'm still in my bedroom for context. My bed's on the other side of this table, right? Let me be honest with y'all. My bed's right there. Okay, it may look like I'm in an office. I'm not, right? I'll be honest with y'all. So yeah. Raw reality, the raw truth of actually starting and or owning / running an SMMA isn't as pretty as you think it may be.